Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of different musical, video and audio elements of the videos that I watch. And today we are checking out one of the latest releases by Sabaton. Not quite the latest one, but this one really caught my eye and I was curious about it. I'm also super excited to be doing this specific reaction, or rather this specific band, because I'm going to see them. I was actually delighted. I suddenly got an advert on Instagram saying, hey, Sabaton's going to be in Toronto in April. So I have a ticket to go and see them, and I cannot wait. It's going to be such a cool experience. So that's going to be awesome, and it really fired me up to do this. On top of that, more excitement. This is my first reaction since I hit 4,000 subscribers. Thank you so very much to every single one of you. It is so exciting to hit a milestone like that, and I am really, really delighted. I think it's wonderful. I feel so happy with how the channel is growing. It's growing slowly because I do really long videos, and that's unusual for this medium. But I am really, really happy with it, and it's such an honor to be able to say that I have that kind of number supporting me. It's been less than 3 years at this point, so to hit 4,000 by then for long-form video channel in a field that is mostly short-form is really exciting. So thank you to every single one of you. Please do, tell your friends if there's somebody who enjoys reactions that you know, or if you're in a group or a Discord channel or something for these groups, please do share the word, because I would love to have more people here who are interested in the long-form analysis that I do. But this is really exciting. So thank you very much to every single one of you. It means a lot. I know I haven't been the best about responding to comments and things lately, but I do read them and I really appreciate them. And I will be getting better at that in the new year, if not sooner. Just been a really, really busy time in life recently. There'll be an update video coming out around the 3rd anniversary of the channel, and I will say more then. But for now, back to Sabaton and their exploration of the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and the Temple of Solomon, better known as the Knights Templar, or in this case, Templars. These are a Catholic order of knights that were formed in the early 1100s. They were formed in Jerusalem with the aim of being military protection for pilgrims who were traveling. Over time, they grew incredibly powerful and incredibly wealthy, and almost 200 years later, the then King of France was extremely jealous of them, and has declared them heretics, amongst other things, and had the Pope disband the order in the early 1300s. I don't know what aspect of them we're going to be covering in this video. I didn't look into it. I just decided to take a run at it and see what happens. So I'm not going to go on about them forever and a day, because I don't know what's going to be relevant. But they're a really cool part of history to look into, and problematic in some ways, but also just really interesting. And I think there's nothing wrong with studying interesting history, and I think there's an element to the order that was extremely sort of beneficial to pilgrims at the time. And other elements that maybe were a little less choice, but that's how a lot of history goes, really, so that's not surprising. What we're going to be looking at here, as I say, I don't know, but I'm really excited to find out. So I'm going to say welcome back to the channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch through from beginning to end, commenting and emoting over the top. I'm also going to then go back and watch a second time, this time pausing, interrupting, offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can, based on what I've just seen and heard and the foreknowledge of that one prior viewing. I'm also going to apologize for the duration of this video. I'm very stuffy right now. Unfortunately, I've not sure where it came from, but I've got an absolute monster of a cold. So I might be a little bit stuffy and a bit sniffly, and I do apologise for that. I wanted to make sure I still got a reaction out this week, and I waited as long as I could in the hopes it might be a little bit better, but no dice. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you would care to support the channel, you can do so by heading to buymeacoffee.com/DavidKReacts, to patreon.com/DavidKReacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube. More details on all of those later, but I would like to say a huge thank you to Sandra Rohn, who bought me a lot of coffees in this past week. I'm very grateful to you, and also thank you to Ms. Chuck Terry, who upgraded her Patreon membership, and Amy VH Hines, who has just joined as a new patron. Thank you very much to you folks. I really, really appreciate the support. It means a lot. And I hope that you enjoy the ongoing content. That's about all I have to say, I think. So I'm going to jump in and check out for the first time Sabaton's Templars. Loving the choral intro. Yes. Epic build-up here.
The poor fellow soldiers of Christ and the temple, the mission, a journey about to begin. Safeguard the path, the way to salvation, protecting the faithful, a journey within. The holy order, ignite the flame, protect the border, Jerusalem calling the name.
They look great in armor, just saying. Right, Temple Mount was their sort of base of operations. This is really well filmed. I love the choice to have a lack of lyrics for the greater scheme of a lack of prominent lyrics for the sort of loss of the band members in the video. Wow, this is quite graphic. Sorry for the notification. This is epic.
Templars on the march, charge from
Right. I'd forgotten that. That was epic. What an amazing video and a great song. Ah, Holly the horse. I love that they include that. This is the thing. They treat their every music video like a legitimate movie, and it's fantastic because that's what they've done. They've created a short movie. Oh, that t-shirt's cool. Filmed in Siberia. Amazing. Love it. Because this is the lead single, right, from The War of All... what's it called? My brain is failing me right now. Legends. Yes, this is the lead single from that. That is such a great piece of music. Just going to have a glance at the description while I'm down here, see if there's any information. Legends comes out October the 17th. Of course, they have their behind the scenes on it, which I will watch. I'm not going to do so now. Lyrics... Historic fact. Okay, so here we go. The Knights of the Noble Order of the Temple was founded in 1119, okay, after the First Crusade. Known for their dual roles as warriors and monks, they took vows of poverty and chastity as the poor fellow soldiers of Christ. Wearing heavy armor and white mantles with a red cross, they protected pilgrims in the Holy Land and guarded Christian sites, including the Temple Mount. Despite their noble mission, the order faced suspicion from European nobility. In 1307, King Philip IV of France, driven by greed and jealousy, betrayed the Templars, seizing their wealth and ordering the arrest of many knights, including Grandmaster Jacques de Molay, who was tortured and executed. There you go. Okay. I love how much detail they put into all of this, and I mean that both in terms of the specific detail into the lyrics and into the research that they do into this, but also into the quality of their films. I'm no expert by any stretch of the imagination, but as a writer, I've done a lot of research, and I've watched a lot of videos by historians and armorers and all that sort of stuff about medieval armor and weaponry, and I can tell you that costuming was so on point. They do a really, really good job of creating realistic imagery, and I have so much respect for that. It's amazing because I feel like they do a better job than a lot of educational resources that are shown to kids. They do a better job than a lot of films that proclaim to represent an era particularly well. And they might do. There might be elements that they get really, really right. For example, the film Alexander's display of Alexander's tactics in battle, if I'm not mistaken, was actually quite highly thought of. But other elements of it, absolutely not. And they just go all out on creating something that's as realistic as it can be, and I have so much respect for that. This is remarkable. Let's go back, and I'm just going to... Okay, if you see me looking to the left during this playthrough, I've just put the lyrics there so that I can keep half an eye on them while we're going through. But let's check this out again. This is amazing. I love this very gentle beginning. Like, you've got this incredibly violent video coming up, and the fact that you just start it this way, we open on the castle, which, I mean, this is a stunning shot with the water right outside as well. What an absolutely beautiful shot here, showing that section of the castle that is lit up. You can see it's being patrolled as well. You can see my mouse on the screen, yeah. It's being patrolled by guards, or maybe not patrolled, but there are people on watch. This is fantastic. I love this as an opening. It sets us in a specific time and a specific place. You have the flag of the Templars hanging from various towers around the place. I don't know if this is modeled on an exact or a historical location. No idea. But it's just a fantastic opening shot. And this is so dramatic. This chorus, jam, da, da, da. It's a very da, da, da. There's a tonic. So they're da, 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 da. All around that minor third. Which at this point in time we don't have context for. It could be the tonic of a major key. It's not, but we don't know that yet. And I love that we start off with this very dramatic moment. It's really cool. Now we get a little more tonality. There's just enough of a hint that we know what key we're in there, but it's not that. I think what I mean to say is they're not making it evident. They're keeping their options open a little bit with what they're actually doing here, and I really like that. I think it gives us lots of places to go, and I really love the development of this chorus throughout this intro. I think it's extremely powerful. This idea too of the dimly lit sort of location for the scribe. It's not really a scriptorium. It could be, but it looks more like a little nook. But I love that it's, they're keeping the lighting dim. They're not trying to illuminate anything more than it would have been. Again, historical accuracy, just candles, and that's kind of... I assume there's a little bit of subtle lighting going on here, obviously, just for the quality of the film, but it's not a lot, and it looks extremely credible as just candlelight. It's so good. I don't know the relevance of this motion. Is that something specific? I don't know if anybody would know the answer to that question. It's not something I've noticed. I think I've seen before. Is anything specific? Or maybe is he just gesturing, get away? It looks like a sort of... Yeah, not 100% certain about that. But I love that we get here this lovely resolution into the fifth that tells us finally 100% what key we're in. There we are, dum, and now we're going to go dum, dum, da, 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 da. There we are, we're settling into our key at this point. But that resolution there, and the fact that we bring in this electronic element behind this, all we've had so far is a very strident chorus of human voices, and now we're bringing the band in behind. It's great. And notice here, I love this chord progression we're going through. We have the dum, dum, ba, 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 ba. We're sitting here, we're still in that minor key, but then ba, ba, ba. There, right there, we move into the major key that the first note could have been the tonic of. So we do actually lead to that moment. That possibility is realized, if only for a moment. Fantastic stuff, and we're keeping that chorus going, so we're merging between the two elements by having the chorus still singing over the band, except now we're doubling them with the string pads, but we're bringing in the groove and the rhythm section behind, and we're leading towards the band taking over. I think that's fantastic. I also don't know what the chorus is singing. I'm looking at the lyrics and I'm not seeing a specific... I don't think that's represented in the lyrics. So if anyone knows what they're singing, please let me know. And we get this build-up as this constant rhythm going underneath these few bars. And it's the da 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 da. It's the same motion that the chorus had at the beginning, just it's gentle, it's withdrawn because we're pushing forward this ticka 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 ticka, and it's getting more and more tense as we push towards the song. Obviously, this is them presumably learning from a spy in the court or a collaborator or a friend somewhere that they have just been accused, and that the king's men are going to be coming to arrest them or kill them. I assume that's the logic of this piece of paper. So interesting choice that they actually picked to just come right in at the very end. So presumably this is Friday the 13th of did they say October? But Friday the 13th. So I think I probably did know that's where the suspicion of Friday the 13th came from, but I'd forgotten. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, right, yes, I knew this. But yeah, very cool. I like that that's the moment they've chosen. It would have been interesting as well if they had done it in such a way that you see them performing their duties, as if it was 20 years earlier before the king became suspicious of them, and then go into this. But I actually really like the fact that they do this. They focus on a specific moment or a specific behavior, like with Night Witches. You saw the bombing runs, and it wasn't a specific bombing run, even though there was one depicted in the video. It was just about their behavior. Here we're seeing the specific moment in time, which is, the most sort of tragic moment for the Templars, where not only do they lose their power, but a lot of them lose their lives because of what's going on right here. Great choice. And of course, the messenger doesn't know what's in there. The Templars were highly respected for their loyalty and honor, and so he wouldn't have looked at it. I love that moment of you get this wonder, or not wonder, curiosity, like the curiosity of okay, what's this about? Also, here's a big thing. Notice the weapons that most of these people are carrying. This is a big thing that fantasy and even a lot of historical drama gets wrong. These men are, for the most part, carrying spears, and you can occasionally see, like, there's a large hand axe here, and things like that. That is the weapon that the foot soldiers and the peasantry would have... Well, peasantry might have used anything from a pitchfork to whatever, farm tools they had to hand. They wouldn't have used swords. I am so happy to see this, and I wouldn't have doubted for a second that Sabaton wouldn't have got this right, but swords required training. Your basic foot soldiers didn't get that. So they used a weapon that was easier to use, which was the spear. It's far more common. It's if you look at old imagery... I'm sorry for these notifications. I don't know why they're coming through. Pause for 1 second. Okay, notifications have been turned off. Sorry about that. If you go back and look at imagery, the majority of the foot soldiers were equipped with spears. And that's what we get here. We get spears first. And sure, the Black Knight will use a sword, but the Black Knight will have been trained as a knight. And so that will be perfectly within reason for him. But the knights were not the most common fighting force at this time. That was your average infantryman who would not have been trained sufficiently to use a sword. So I really do love the fact that they have a predominantly spear-armed force here. And the attention to detail too. Like, you can see how there's different levels of armor here. We have somebody who's got more of a leather padded thing going on, but you've also got people with these metal greaves and all that sort of thing. You can see you've got the full armor around the head. You've got the gorget. You've got the helmet. You've got this chainmail coif that they would have. Not actually sure how to pronounce that. Coif, whatever it is. But they have all these elements. Because if you just have a helmet on your head and then whatever breastplate you're wearing, your entire neck area is vulnerable to attack. And so again, the amount of detail that goes into these videos makes me so happy.
The poor fellow soldiers of Christ and the temple,
So there we have the mission of the Templars, is protect the faithful as they go on their travels and their pilgrimages. And I think that, that's a great way to start out. This is what we're about, and this is how we were hard done by and undone by one man's debt, suspicion, and greed. Did they become too powerful? Quite possibly. I don't have enough context to say one way or the other. They certainly became a threat just because of their sheer strength. But were they a threat of the mind in the king who was just concerned and bothered by the amount of money he was paying? Or were they actually a threat? I don't know enough to say one way or the other, but one has to question that.
The Holy Order, ignite the flame, protect the border, Jerusalem calling the name. Fight it hard! God's call, Holy Order, Knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the temple.
I really, really like the pattern. And this is another reason I wanted the lyrics up, was I wanted to see how they break down the order of the chorus. So they break it down to be God's call, holy order. Next line, Knights of Jesus Christ. Next line, charge from the temple. Now listen to how it's sung. Line. So that sounds like a single line of text. That's fine. That makes sense. Now we go to the next line. You might think that we now go down to the next line, but actually the word Christ is the end of this line in terms of how it's written out. And charge is the first one. I really, really like that. I think there's a power. Like these were incredibly devout Catholic Christians. So they would have worshipped Jesus and God and done so with a real reverence. And it was their mission to protect others who felt the same way. And so this choice to have, we're not knights of the people, we're not knights of a king, we are knights of Jesus Christ. And so they separate that name completely. I think that's really, really nice. And they have it again. God's own chosen warriors. Templars on the march, charge. That charge is always separate. But charge from the temple and then charge from the temple mount. We are coming from the house of God. This is the emphasis is being placed on the fact that this is who the Templars serve. And I really think that's extremely powerful. Yeah, wonderful stuff. I want to go back and look at a bit more of this because this is great.
Ignite the flame, protect, fight it hard! God's call, holy order, Knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the temple. God's holy.
Now we are seeing more swords here. There's a little bit more of a Hollywood battle happening, but that's perfectly fair as well. Why not? They've also got the old Hollywood thing going on. And I say Hollywood, obviously this isn't Hollywood, but you know what I mean. The cinematic thing going on of our key players. The Black Knight reveals himself later when he takes his helmet off and pays for it, you'll notice. But the band's helmets are never on. So we are seeing them at all times. They would have been wearing a helmet. So, but that's a cinematic license, and it's a trope that we accept because it means we know who and where our main characters are at any given moment. But they would have been wearing helmets, of course, because otherwise your entire head is vulnerable. This is a great shot. I love that we're now seeing the Temple Mount, presumably. I don't know why I didn't think of that when I was talking about it earlier. Presumably this is supposed to be the Temple Mount. But I love that we're seeing it from the opposite side now. So the ocean is behind it and we're seeing the battlefield out front. So we've come from their side. And now as the battle kicks in, we actually come from the opposite side and we start seeing the castle from the perspective of where the enemy was coming from, because we didn't see ships, we saw them marching, so they came from this side. And I think that's a nice little perspective switch there. This mass fight that's going on here is actually really well realized, I think. They've done a really, really good job here with... Now, here's the thing. This is Sabaton. They could have spent money on a digital reproduction software, something like what's it? Massive? Whatever the engine was called they developed for Lord of the Rings. Or this could be that many extras. I would believe either. Maybe the BTS will tell me, but if not, let me know, because I'm curious. This is really well. It's a great shot. We don't see too much from this scale, but I really like that we get a moment to see it. Obviously the whole Templar force is out right now. So the fact that they get overwhelmed says a lot about the strength. Now, I question the logic of going out to battle rather than staying in the castle and seeing what happened there. But I mean, a siege would be a horrible thing to go through. So, it is what it is. But yeah, this great scale that we have here is brilliant. I love that we have that flicker there before we go into the next verse. We just get that second of flickering to the Black Knight. He's not there yet. He's not fully present, but he's always in the background. That's an interesting one. He's clubbing somebody with the back end of his sword. Interesting. I wonder what the reason for that was. Has he just taken the sword from this guy? Did we see that? That's just an interesting angle to attack something. Like, either he's trying to save that person's life by knocking them out, or he's just literally caught the sword and is swinging it back the other way. I'm not quite sure what's happening there, but that's kind of cool. Anyway, sorry, back to lyrics. I like that line a lot. Judgment awaits in the kingdom of heaven, a royal betrayal, accusal of sins. So that logic of, yeah, you can tell us that we've sinned, but you're not the one who ultimately gets to decide that. That will be decided once we've passed on. That's really cool. I like that, because that would have been their logic. It's like, okay, the humanity has betrayed us, but we will be proved in the next life. And that's the thing, right? They were dominant because they didn't face down an entire army. They are not an entire army. They are an order of knights, and yes, they're highly trained, but ultimately they're not. Their numbers are few, and if an entire monarchy, if the monarchy turns its entire army on them, ain't much you can do about it. But I like that. The lies of a king and papal damnation. And it's true, the king pressured the Pope to disband the order, but the Pope still disbanded the order. And so it is both parties are guilty, although, the king more so. But it's still the thing that happened, and that's what took the order down. I like this a lot. That line I really, really like. So they're saying, you can say all of the false things you want. You can take us all out. But the place that we were created to protect, we will protect, because it needs us until our last breath. That's fantastic. I like that choice there. Jerusalem still calls their name, and that just rings into silence. Yeah, that's a really great place to have a break. It really emphasizes that final lyric, and that's the last lyric of the song. Now we go back to choruses and things like that, and repetition. That we've now sung all of the lyrics, and to have that one as the one that's left hanging before a break is just perfect. I like that a lot. This is also fascinating. We're not even halfway through the video, and the lead singer's gone. I like the fact that they're not trying to have it that, you know, oh, these 5 Templars were better than all the rest. Sure, the rest, you know, the other 4 take a little longer, but also he was out first. Joakim, we saw him fighting on the field while the others were still coming out of the portcullis. So, you know, he was more vulnerable for longer. And you get tired. Look at all the metal that he's wearing. This wasn't light gear. You know, if you fell over, you needed someone to help you get back up again. It's what part of what squires were there for, was to help you get ready, because you couldn't do it yourself. And you get tired fighting in all of this. So if he was one of the first ones out the gate, he's going to be knackered by now. Fights didn't last, 2 hours of endless combat. They'd go on for a few minutes, and I think quite often each side would withdraw and take a breather and come back and clash again later, because your people just couldn't keep going. I really like, this is all so good. And I like these moments that we're getting of using the terrain. You know, you could hide at the end of this corridor and take care of the first 2 guys who come through. Luckily for them, there were only 2. This is so smart. Like, I really like what they're doing with this video. They're showing a lot of very legitimate material. Oh, again, we've got that same... I think that's the same chord construction as the chorus from the beginning. It's just lengthened this time with these strings, the dung, 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 which is kind of giving us this... It's not even tension anymore, now it's menace. Because we know that the good guys are losing. For heaven's sake, it's been a minute since the lead singer was taken out. Now it's menace. Now it's this impending, impenetrable force pushing on into the castle. The music choice here is fantastic. That da 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 da. These very strident horns descending in a minor chord. It's a sound like that kind of fully blown brass can be so heroic, but it's not, because that's not what this story is talking about. We're talking about heroism in the terms of, people fighting for what they believe in until their last breath kind of thing. But we're not talking about heroism in the terms of somehow they're going to triumph. They're not. The song's already told us that. And so the choice to have an orchestration that focuses on that, and this descending horn, da 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 da, that minor third there, bum, and it's kind of, it's crashing down on us rather than being upbeat. It's fantastic. brutal, but realistic. I don't know if the spear would have gone through him. That might be a little bit exaggerative, but that not only has to go through a person, but also 2 layers of armor. That would have to be an exceptionally sharp spear. Maybe, I don't know. If you threw it hard enough, could be. But I like that idea that, and I know it's a bit of a cliche that you ride past a spear in the ground and pick it up and chuck it, but why not? It's there. You may as well make use of it, right? I also love that he is now much more of a presence, the Black Knight. Like, he's really... We saw him take out a couple of grunts earlier on, but now he's facing down face characters, for want of a better word. The important people in this story. I think this is really powerful too, the way that they're telling this, like we're having this solo coming in right now that is also very minor. Like there's nothing in this point that is ever giving us happiness. This is a dark, bleak piece of music, right? And you have this ominous figure coming onto screen as this solo starts. But I really like this. I'm going to go back a little way. The build-up they've got going on here. This with the strings, like going on and on and on. It's very unsettling, and we got these very dark tones underneath. And now we see these two actually going through and having some degree of success over this da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-da-da-da-da. And it changes tone just enough. It's not really hopeful, but it's more, it supports them having a little success. They take care of the first guy. This I like, this idea that when you have 2 men, one following the other, the one in front just pushes this guy out of the way, goes to take care of the guy behind him, but has knocked this guy off balance so that the person behind can then take him out, and you're not having somebody trying to pass by a melee in progress. I think that's really nice. There's some smart little bits of choreography in here, I think. It's good. It's showing them working together. It's not one person going through and just, powering through the horde and defeating all the small guys. It's taking effort. That, I think, is what I like. I love that little lead up too. This is kind of, you've got this cool sort of mini solo going on, but then we get this little run up. And it's almost it's almost like a little fanfare for the Black Knight, but it's a sorrowful one. Really nice stuff. And this construction of this solo da 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 da, these broken chords going down, but then going back up, but going up to a lower point and coming back down again. So we have this tumbling effect as we're gradually coming down. That's really cool. I like this a lot. And I love that as we get back to false accusations, that's the moment where the Black Knight strikes. That's such a perfect moment to bring the lyrics back in again. This is their use. Not only do they create great videos, but they work so well to time elements of their videos with their music. And I think that's just such a powerful moment that we've had all of this music. And then is this the last, for want of a better phrase, face character? I think it is. The last one goes down on false accusations.
False accusations, put out the flames.
It's like smack, false accusations, stab. Oop. No, we're fine. Just knocking things over. Bang, false accusations, stab, put out the flame. And it's like these attacks on the beat.
False accusations, put out the flames. Assassinations, Jerusalem still calls their names. God's call, holy order, Knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the temple. God's own chosen warriors, Templars.
And I love this idea that he's taking care of the Black Knight is so we have our slightly heroic moment. It's a Pyrrhic victory, but we have our slightly heroic moment of the Black Knight being defeated, and then this guy, you know, our final character, he's doomed. There's no getting past that, but he's still able to stumble back in to take care of burning the documentation. That, you know, goodness knows what it says. But he goes back in to make sure that that is destroyed, and then, you know, you have that final determination, and it's this Pyrrhic victory where at least, you know, our secrets weren't all given up, and our core persecutor was defeated.
God's own chosen warriors, Templars on the march, charge from the temple. God's call, holy order, Knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the temple. God's own.
And I like this. They're using that function that they had earlier of the first half of the chorus, Knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the temple, God's own, and we go back into the second half, and then we'd have at the end of that, from the temple mount. But they use the fact that they've had that from the temple to go back to the beginning of the chorus, God's call, so they're able to use their own device, which they usually wrap up. They use it to actually go back further a second time. That's great. Oh, actually, sorry. We go back to the halfway point again. So it's a chorus and a half, but it's very, very cool. I can't read this. Order, Knights of... Oh! It's the lyrics. God's own holy order, Knights of Jesus Christ, charge from the Temple Mount. I love that. That's great. And then here we go. Here's that story. Yeah. So just telling that truth of the king, just his own issues he takes out by violently disbanding this order. And they're set to be executed on Friday the 13th of October. And the choice to have this all over the sound of the fire is incredible. So good. Because that's all that's left. It's just the burning documents and the wood. Oh, interesting. The Black Knight was the choreographer. Ongyan Kosarich. That is a pure guess. I probably murdered that name. But yeah, if we go back down here, choreography and casting was done by him. That's great. I love that. Warrior Knights. So there's a reasonable number of Warrior Knights. Costume stylist Bane Devich, maybe? However you pronounce. Apologies for any names I'm butchering. Kudos. Massive kudos for the costume work in this. And actually to the whole costume and scenography team. They did a fantastic job. They really did. Wonderful stuff. Oh my goodness, that is such a good video. I All I was expecting for this was for them to do the story of the Templars justice in some way, and they did that. That was incredible. This makes me... I don't know what the content of the tour is. I assume they are touring the Legends album. Honestly, I just saw the words and hit the button, and that's about as far as I've got. I think it's the Legends tour, so I think it'll be this album they're touring. I am so excited to see them. Doubly so now that I've heard this. This is fantastic stuff. I mean, what an incredible group. I have so much respect for the work that they do and the attention to detail that they put into it. It's remarkable, and this is no exception to that. It's magnificent stuff. And I'm really, really glad I watched this. This was a great song, and I love the fact, like, I think there's going to be elements of this album I don't know much about. The Templars as a concept, I think probably coming out of my enjoyment of Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 back in the day, things like Knightly Orders were particularly intriguing to me. This logic of subsets of people who had a very specific purpose that they lived for. And so the Templars are an element I know just a little bit more about. I don't know much. You've probably heard more or less the sum total of my knowledge during the course of this video. But I really like that they fascinate me, and I really like that there was such a good song based around something I have a concept of. That's awesome. I think the rest of the album, question mark. Will I know anything about it? Possibly, possibly not. I haven't actually looked to see what the rest of the track list is. So I'll be curious to see about that. But yeah, this was incredible. I hope that you enjoyed that as much as I did. Of course, I forgot to say it beforehand, but please check the description below for a link to Sabaton's channel and to the original of this video. Hopefully you saw that before you watched this. And go and check them out and support them. They're an incredible group, and their music is everything I have heard so far has been truly fantastic. But yes, I hope you enjoyed my take on it, whether this was one of your first times seeing the video and, I was sort of introducing you to some elements of it, or whether this is a video you've seen a whole bunch since it came out. It's been out for a few months now, I think. When did this come out? April, yeah. So I'm recording this at mid-September, or towards the end of September. So it's been out for a few months. So if you've seen it a bunch of times and I pointed out one small thing that you didn't know, or whatever it happens to be, hopefully I did, because that's sort of what I'm hoping to do with these videos, is share my love, but also what meager knowledge I have of music, cinematography, whatever it happens to be. Hopefully there's something I can highlight that makes you go, oh yeah, that's really cool. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate the time that you spend with me, especially if you're still here at the end. If you would care to support... Oh, well, first, I'm getting my own outro wrong. Please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and if you would care to support the channel, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com/DavidKreacts, where you can leave a one-off donation of any amount, or contribute to my ongoing wishlist item of basically keeping my Premiere Pro subscription going. You could also head to patreon.com/DavidKreacts, where you will be able to sign up for $2 or $4 Canadian, or your regional equivalent. That's sort of, it's just ongoing support right now, plus access to my Discord channel. There is going to be, in a couple of months, a sneak peek of something I'm doing that will be on YouTube, but Patreon members, my patrons, will get an opportunity to see it a little early. But for right now, it's mostly just the ongoing support. Or you could leave a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those would be very gratefully appreciated if you should choose to do them. And that's about it. That's it for this week's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day, morning, afternoon, evening, nighttime, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Let's go for 12:15 a.m. Let's see if someone started watching this late at night. But yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful rest of your day and week, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.